Hello lovelies, watching Joke Fox here. I'm sorry if there's like cuts here and there in the video. It's literally 3:46 in the morning, so I have no idea when I'll be posting this what if. But anyways, this is what if Deku was possessed. So I'm gonna change a few things up in the story. In this what if, Inko, instead of having levitation type quirk, her quirk mainly revolves around speed, while Deku's dad mainly revolves around strength, and both of them have like this animalistic type of body structure towards them, to the point where it's passed down to genes of them, so Deku has as well, so he's actually looks like in the picture, except for the two arms in the back. I'll explain those a little later. In this world, there's no heaven or hell, it's just the afterlife. And in the afterlife, a baby was born. But not any baby in the afterlife. Somewhere in the world, a baby has died and now is in the afterlife because of it. And because of that, no other ghosts wanted to take care of it or anything. So they just toss it in any sort of direction that they wanted to go, and a certain direction led the ghost child spirit into Izuku Midori's body, which is located in the center of Japan. I'm pretty sure that's where Deku's home's located. Which caused the spirit to infuse with Deku, causing his quirk to mutate into something that is not a quirk. But they don't know what to call it because it shows that he shouldn't have a quirk, but in fact he does. They think it's like a mutation in the gene that's slowly evolving, and it shows into this child. And all for one, the quirk doctor tries to prove facts that Deku is just deformed in certain ways, so he could lie to Inko and Hisashi about Deku not having a quirk. But in fact, that does not work because of how Deku proves each and every single test wrong of the quirk doctor that All For One sent out and get children's quirks. So he obviously fails at the job, at task, trying to get Izuku Midori's quirk, which was a very powerful speed and strength quirk. So, yeah. So during the days while Deku's growing up, learning new things, the spirit of the child woke up while Deku is learning and learns with him. And soon after, Deku has slowly named the spirit Cody, after his childhood plushie, Cody the bunny, well, Cody the cheetah. It was an old plushie of his that suddenly went missing and he couldn't find it. And he nicknamed it Cody the cheetah because it reminded him of a little cartoon show that he used to watch as a kid. One of the main characters was a tiger named Cody. And because since Deku has been talking to the spirit, he named it after the toy because it kind of resembles how Deku imagines his toy plushie to talk to him. Anyways, basically, while in the photo you could see two massive arms growing out. Again, I'll explain that later. Why am I getting over? Okay. While Deku is like continuously working out because he hears about UA, as a kid, he wanted to go in. He always wanted his dream to end up becoming a reality, being a hero that always saves people with a smile. But the thing is, it's hard when people sometimes fear you and also wants to hug you because you're big and fluffy. And Deku is very much sad at that point because people normally scared of him because of his outgoing personality sometimes. He loves to chat and loves to have conversations with people, to the point where people automatically think he's weird from trying to talk to them the first time and immediately run away from him, which is very sad. So that's why he normally talks to himself, and everyone else just thinks it's an imaginary friend because Deku doesn't have a lot of friends. He only barely is able to keep a kind of stable relationship with one, aka a child with dark blonde hair with red eyes. Yes, sometimes they fight and sometimes it's hard for them to get along. They're still friends through and through, but something happened when the kid got his quirk. Everyone could tell what Deku's quirk was because of his parents' DNA. And that's why they named him Tiger, which I have no idea of. But let me just continue. So I'm gonna skip a couple months. Deku is like in the first year of junior high. Even during the day when the quirk doctor tried to lie to his parents that he was quirkless, after that failed, his dad decided to enroll him into acrobatics and as well as martial arts, so he could learn how to defend himself because of how many bruises he'd gotten on his body from bullying because he had an imaginary friend. That's what everyone calls it. Even though Deku says that he's real and that he just talks to him sometimes. As they continuously think it's just an imaginary friend, but in fact it's actually a spirit of a child that's growing up with their son. To the point in one day, out of Deku's lash of anger after the bullies at school, the parents of the bullies and Inko and Hasashi both got a furious call from the school saying how this and this happened, and now Midoriya is losing his composure and started crying and then attacking while he's crying by 2 extra pair of arms. As once they got close to the school, they see Midoriya with 2 arms broken out of his back, which seemed to look so painful that it scared the parents to death. Inko and Hasashi were terrified because now they see what their son actually means. They realized that Cody wasn't an imaginary friend. They call him I don't know how to say a name, but it's like a dark spirit of someone that doesn't want to move on from the afterlife. The spirit mainly takes on an posture that lures little children to comfort them and lure them into a sense of composure until when the child loses their composure, the spirit could fully take over the child's entire body and force their emotions to go out everywhere, causing the spirit to get even more powerful during the entire thing. Normally, the people with the symptoms were 2 large, skinny hands breaking out of the child's back and slashing and attacking everything while the child screams and cries because of the pain as well as the sadness. But these arms were not normal arms. They had a little bit more muscle on them than what they normally heard, as once they calmed Deku down, the arms slowly went back into Deku's back as they hear the scream of the young child. They were terrified, as well as they sent Deku to the hospital to check it out. They told him that it was a part of his quirk, that if he gets frustrated with his emotions, that will happen each time. Once the parents explained how it happened, and they said how it's like the thing I explained, they said it probably is, but probably isn't. Remember, this is a world full of quirks, so probably it's a quirk trying to manifest what Deku fears the most, which is probably that story. Did you mention it to him once or twice? Or do you have like a book around your house that mainly explains about this type of stuff? Inko and Hasashi both said no, because they had hidden all dangerous stuff and scary stuff away from Deku so he doesn't get scared or in pain. And the doctor asked, how about, is there any trauma going around in school that caused your child to behave like this? Inko does say that how Deku acted, saying that he met a little guy named Chris, or I'm pretty sure darn it, I forgot the name. I have to rewatch this recording. I'm sorry, guys. A little boy, which was, we thought, an imaginary friend, but we don't know. Charlie the Tiger. I'm pretty sure it's Charlie, but if it's not, I'll try to remember. Anyways, after that, they told Deku that he needs to control his emotions as well as control his physical strength, for it doesn't hurt him as bad as it does. Because right now, Deku has bandages all over his back because of the pain. His father does explain how he was getting a little stressed, and the doctor said maybe that also is the reason why, from what you said, that he had an imaginary friend because of the bullying, Miss Midoriya, and as well as the stress from all the activities that he has, could cause the child's quirk to go overload and attack. I think the quirks in his body, or his quirk, is causing a self-defense to defend him from any type of danger, which also means overworking himself. That means he's overworking himself on something. From what you said, it could be the activities that he's normally doing. So I'm guessing it's that. So I suggest you cut back on the activities so he could at least rest easily without any interactions. If he is possessed by a spirit, I suggest you go see this altar and have the spirit remove of the child's body before the child gets too attached to him. If not, it's gonna be hard for the spirit to leave the child's body. Inko and Hitsashi said, okay, they first went to the altar, well, after a few months, and they see that Deku is talking to the kid named Charlie again, and they went to the altar and they did the little exorcist thing, but now, when Deku stood up, Deku said that he is no longer scared because he is here, Cody. As at that moment, Deku blacks out. After all that, the guy said, I think your child is way too far gone. At this point, he made a connection to the spirit of the young child named Cody that was supposed to be part of this family. Now he's possessed by it. Anyways, I'm gonna skip into the future. Deku did work out for the most part to keep his strength up, and I think this is enough for today.